Johnny Tremain, Chapter 5, Part 3. Before we read, let me ask you one question before we read this part. How does Johnny intend to re-establish his relationship with Scylla and Isana? And so we read Part 3 of Chapter 5. This was Johnny's new life. He liked it, but was at first a little homesick for the Laphams. He had never been so glad in his life as that Thursday, a few weeks after he had begun delivering newspapers, when he saw Scylla and Isana standing by the town pump in North Square. He had left his last paper for the day with Paul Revere, and was starting back to put up his horse at the Afric Queen. He had felt he could never again go to the Laphams. Mrs. Lapham and her Mr. Tweedy had been so ready to let him hang. He just about killed Dove if he ever met him. "Scylla!" he cried. She looked at him, and her eyes shone. Goblin stretched his muzzle toward the empty drinking trough. "I'll pump him fresh water." Scylla pumped, and the horse drank gratefully. "Scylla, do you come over often to fetch water?" It hurt him that the heavy yoke and the 2 buckets which he had worn so often, to his humiliation, had somehow descended upon her thin shoulders. Mr. Tweedy won't have it that Dove and Dusty stop their work. Before breakfast they are supposed to bring in all we need for the day. When we run short, he says we girls are to go. He's upset everything, Johnny. Didn't know you had that much gumption. Ma bets him, and Ma says it's not suitable for grown women like Madge and Dorcas to be carrying buckets through the streets. So, I'm the one. "If you'll lead my horse," said Johnny, "I'll carry the water as far as Fish Street. I'm not going into that house for a long time yet, but I'll go pretty near, close enough to spit at them all." "Still mad?" "Sure, of course I am. Why not?" Isana had wandered off because a passing clergyman had seen the sunlight on her hair and was asking her to say the shorter catechism as proof that she was as pious as she was beautiful, and he was giving her a poke of sweetmeats he had bought for his wife. "Look you, Syl," said Johnny, "every Thursday, you see. I'll leave Mr. Revere's papers, and I'll be here to help you, just about the same time as today." "I can carry the water myself," said Scylla stiffly. "No, it's not just that, but I've been wanting to see you. And Isana too. I didn't know how to manage." They were stopping on Fish Street. It was not close enough for Johnny to spit at his old residence, but as close as he cared to go. "Don't you go promising, Johnny," she said. She was stroking Goblin's face. "I think your horse is the most beautiful horse I've ever saw. I think he likes me already." "Yes, I know. But I'm gonna be here every Thursday. And Sunday afternoon, too. If there's water to carry, I'll carry it. But it's more important that we talk. Couldn't you sneak off and meet me up by the pump?" "Yes, I could." "Well, will you?" She was a sot and stubborn girl. "I don't know. But if you want me and Isana very much, I can say, maybe." Isana flew up to join them. She had just eaten every one of her sweetmeats, and was now exclaiming over the beauty of the paper poke, suggesting, at least, that that was all the kind clergyman had given her, an empty paper poke. But Johnny could smell chocolate and peppermint on her. Scylla shouldn't let her get away with such selfishness and gluttony. Although maybe was all Scylla promised, Johnny promised much more. "Every Thursday and every Sunday afternoon." Those were his last words, and he thought he meant them. He thought 6 months, a year, 6 years from now, the girls would be as dear to him as they were at that moment. Back once more in Goblin's saddle, he turned to watch them. Scylla bent under the heavy load, Isana skipping about, and for no particular reason chanting the shorter catechism once more. But maybe she had reason. Maybe another clergyman was in the offing. There was a lump in Johnny's throat.